Hello, good evening and welcome everybody to round 2 of the Flat Out E-Racing Decal Labs DTM Championship. We had a fantastic race last week at Le Mans with a real nail-biting finish as different field strategies came into play, and we're hoping for more of the same tonight at Sainte Croix. Now I do apologise in advance for my French. It is not my first language, as you've probably noticed. So I am going to do my best. Let's just hop on, see who we can hop on board with. Who's hopping out? Chili Bass is hopping out, so we're off and running already. Now Sainte Croix, it's not dissimilar to what we had. Let's see what's going on with the cameras here. This is all looking a bit bizarre. I'm hoping that our friends at GT Sport haven't had a crisis. Please do bear with me, as I'm not quite sure what is happening here. Try that as a desperate attempt to get around the problem. We may have a server issue here. Do bear with me. Oh, apparently it's a pit bug, someone is telling me. So we may need to restart, because all I'm getting is we're getting some quite interesting shots here. But it appears the cameraman's having a bit of a bad day. I'm not quite sure what to say here. Timorous is... we've pressed the go button and it's not going. So let's have a quick look, see who else we can find. Yeah, it is Cajun 100 asking the question, is it still? And yes, it is, because the time, bottom right hand corner, we should be starting qualifying and it's not counting down. So I'd imagine we're going to have a bit of a restart here in a second. So hopefully we won't have too many problems. Let's just see what is happening here. I can understand now how the Formula 1 drivers get on, or Formula 1 commentators get on when we have a red flag and all you can look at is paint drying, really. Well, apparently we need to exit, so hopefully we can get together some racing for you very shortly. Now, I don't know if this need to exit includes myself, but we will see. Everyone is coming out, and hopefully, because we don't want to lose the stream, we will be just about to hop back in. So what I will do while we're waiting for things to happen is I will just give you an update of where we are with what is going to be happening tonight and where we are with the championship and where we are going forward. Now, the format tonight is 2-race format. First race will be 20 minutes, and that will be a fastest first, depending on the outcome of the qualifier once we actually get it up and running. We will then have a second race, which will be a 30-minute race, but with a twist, and the twist being that there will be a reverse grid. And as a result of that, those guys that were quick in the first race, and the top 6 especially, will end up at the back of the second race. Now, the important thing about the top 6 is they end up having to use a harder compound tyre, so they'll have less grip, and they will be having to battle their way through with less grip against those drivers that weren't quite so quick on the first race. So that should liven things up. The other factor we got is the cars will all be starting on half a tank. Now, this is one thing that we found last week did massive things to mix up the strategy. So we're hoping that will sort the men from the boys to an extent. So apparently I need to join and get things up and running. Let's have a look, see if I can get a better shot. No, I am still getting quite horrible shots here. Let me just have a try of coming out. I will come out of the room and I will go back in, and hopefully, if you'll all bear with us, because otherwise you're going to be listening to me waffling all night, and that's not going to be the most exciting thing. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who didn't see the race, but I'd be interested to see if anybody wants to post below. Did they watch the Grand Prix earlier? What did they think about it? What did they think about the result? A few incidents along the way. So we will find rooms with friends, and we will go back in, and hopefully we will get the ball rolling, because it's not really going to be what you want to see as we're looking through cloud. So let's talk about the championship and where we're going to head. So last week we were at the Circuit de la Sarthe. As I said, my French is not great, and which is better known as the Le Mans circuit. So we had some fantastic racing here. This week we're at Circuit de Sainte Croix B. Then next week we head to Laguna Seca in America. Then to Fuji in Japan, Monza in Italy, which I'm sure will be a massive slipstreaming battle. And then we will go to Interlagos in Brazil, Bathurst in Australia, which is always good for an exciting race. And then finally we're back to the UK for the finale at Bathurst. And no, it does appear that I am still stuck with fairly horrendous visuals. No, we're back in action, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. We are up and running. and the qualifier is starting. All things are good. So, last thing I need to tell you about while these guys are getting organised for their out lap is where we are with the championship. And please tell me that this is not a problem again. No, we are good to go. We're out. Lockstec is out on track. So let me just quickly tell you about the championship while these guys are on their out lap. Now, actually leading the championship at the moment is Dan TGT, but he has decided to leave the championship for other pursuits. So effectively he is out. So our current leader is the driver on screen at the moment, who's Lockstec 16. He's there on 39 points after the first round. Select is second. Woolly Back, who had a fantastic victory in the second race. There was a little bit of interesting activity, but Woolly Back hung on to that victory, did a fantastic strategy and came back to win the race. I think we went into the last lap. He was actually about third, but had the fuel and performance to overhaul the leaders. And then in fifth, which is effectively a fourth, is Sincor in the championship on 27 points. Then Timorous, our Greek driver, and then Stu Shelton, Stormfly in 8th, Chili Bass 9th, and Cajun 100 in 10th. So it'll be interesting in these early stages of the championship. The positions can get really mixed up very quickly because of the swing of points. So I can see we're already getting some comments in from our YouTubers. So let's just see what they've got to say before we get going on the qualifying lap, because we're just about to come out to, and I can find it, come out to the, oh, I don't want to hear myself back, that's embarrassing. Oh, Technica, good evening, great to hear from you. Pear Kings, yeah, shame about Dan, yeah, I agree. Unfortunately he's on to other things. So he was a great racer, he was a great thinking racer, but he's decided to go for pastures new. But I'm sure the racing we're going to have tonight is still going to be exciting. So, oh, and Woolly Back has joined us as well, so that's important because he is a big player in the championship at this early stage of the season. So, here we go on to our first set of qualifying laps. So I'm going to jump on board with Lockstec, talk you around this circuit. Well, the first part of the circuit, down that main straight, seems to be a public road, and then we turn right down this winding section, which appears to be a specific track type of circuit because it's got no road markings on it. Now this is a very interesting bit. We've got this long right-hander which constant radius, and then also you've got to get on the brakes, get the other way, and then get back the other way, back onto a road section as we go across this bridge. And it's so easy to run in that barrier we've just passed on the left. So it's now absolutely flat out over this bridge. And now we're coming up to what will be a great overtaking opportunity as we hit the brakes really, really hard for this tight left-hander. You can see the road markings denoting this is a public road. You can also note each side of the track, that Armco is there ready to grab you in and rub yourself all over it. So any small mistake can really get penalised. Now this is another fast section here with another good overtaking opportunity at the end over this crest, and then we flick off the road section of or the public road section of the track down to this tight right-hander. So I'm sure this is going to produce some really good overtaking opportunities, because through this twisty section now it's so important to get your line right, as Lockstec will hopefully demonstrate here, because it's all very quick round here. You can see 4th, 5th gear. This is really a very, very fast circuit, and we're just about to start to get some lap times coming in as Scally, I think, is about to cross the line. So with a 2:08, and Cajun 100 goes a little bit quicker than a 2:08.5. Devin Calypso, another new driver to the championship, 2:10. Stormfly, look at that, 2:07.168, fantastic time there. Lockstep slots into second with a 2:08.7, but that's Stormfly time. Absolutely fantastic. So, who's going to come through next? Oh, someone was coming across the line. Let's hop outside. Oh, Stu Shelton slides through into second place there with a 2:07.8. It's just 0.6 of a second off Lockstep. So, cracking time there. So, Tim has gone through. Oh, he slipped into second as well. This is going to be really tight at the front, but you've got just under 5 minutes left. So these guys are going to get 2, maybe 3 more laps in. So let's work our way through. Let's have a look at Stormfly. There he is out in the Porsche with that fantastic Grazie Valley livery. For those of you who aren't into motorcycle racing, but I'm sure you've heard of Valentino Rossi. He competed in his last race last week, so there's quite a lot of these Grazie Valley liveries going about. Fantastic driver, which we really a rider who is going to become a driver, in fact. Oh, Simon Smith says he's been kicked. So hop back in, Simon. You've still got time. You can get in there. So Stormfly coming down through this fast section, off the public road, onto the track section. Looks like he's got a clear run in front of him. Onto this hard right. Using as much curb as he can get away with. Oh, Snodder's left the room. I think that was Simon. So hopefully he's going to jump back in with us. So we're getting some viewers up there on YouTube. So great to see you guys on board watching us tonight. Be great to see some comments below. Here we go. Who we got? Oh, Dave Cannon says evening. So here we go. Lap times now coming in. Scally's gone a little bit quicker. He's got a 2:08.3. That's put him in 6th. Devin Calypso's gone a bit quicker again. He's at 2:09. Stormfly doesn't improve. So Devin Calypso there. He is, I think, down a little bit. He's down in 9th there at the moment. So Select in 8th. He's very much out of position. So he's one of our fastest drivers out there. So he is definitely off the pace at the moment. He's coming around towards the end of the lap, so it'll be interesting to see whether he's going to get himself up the grid there. Coming up to the last corner of this tight right-hander, going really wide there on the entry. Clipping that curve on the inside, wheels over the curb. Here we go. Scampering towards the finishing line. Can he do anything a bit better than what he's got already? We've got just 2.5 minutes left. No, he's not gone any quicker. So this is really, really not Select's circuit. So we're usually used to seeing a bit more performance from Select. Let's see who else we've got going on. We've got Devon down in 9th. So he's another new driver to the series, but he is just going to possibly get in the way of Stormfly, who is trying to just ease his way away from Timorous and Chili Bass. It seems like all these drivers have put their fastest laps in on the first run round. Now, is Stormfly getting a bit of cheeky slipstream off Devlin Calypso here as they run their way down this last really fast section? Now, as long as Devin doesn't make any mistakes and get in the way, this could work to Stormfly's benefit. But I think this is going to get really tight towards the end of the lap, because Stormfly does seem to be pulling in towards Devon as we go. They're all getting a bit squirrely here, and it looks like Stormfly's going to try and go for an overtake in the last corner. I'm not sure that's going to work. He's slipping back in. I think he's better off going for the slipstream and pulling out as they go down the main straight. Here we go. Has it worked for Stormfly? Here he goes, right in that slipstream, pulls out from behind the work. Stu Stelton goes a bit quicker, 2:07.8. Cajun 100, 2:08. Stormfly 2:07.0. Fantastic time there. So we've got just 1 minute remaining, and it looks like Stormfly has decided that's it. So who else is on a good lap? Let's have a look with Timorous. It looks like he's down at the last split, but can he pull it back as we go down towards the finishing line? Around this last right-hander, rubbing that curb, hooking the wheels over the inside curb, just trying to avoid brushing that concrete barrier on the exit. Here we go, up towards the finishing line. Stormfly, he's decided that's all he's got. So, Chili Bass, he's the next one up towards the finishing line. Stormfly's in the pits, he's called it a day. Just 25 seconds remaining of qualifying here. Chili Chili Bass heading towards the line. Can he do anything quicker? Select has gone quicker. He's up to 5th. Chili Bass didn't go any quicker. So that's him done. Who else have we got out there at the moment? We've got a little gaggle here. Cajun 100, he's up in 6th at the moment. And he's coming up on Scally, who's currently in 8th. So let's hop on with Scally, because we know he's in front at the moment. See what kind of time he's got at the last split, which I think we're just coming up to now, just around this right-hander. Looks like he's got a fairly good line there. A bit of squeal of the tyres as we go round. And he crosses the line just around this corner. Is he up or down? He's up. 0.12. Yeah, that will get him in front of Lockstec, which will be quite incredible, because Lockstec, unnoticed by me, has dropped down to 7th place, and I would have expected him to be a bit further up the list, as he's doing so well in the championship at the moment. So here we go, blasting for the line comes Scally. Yeah, he's up to 5th. Fantastic job there. So 7th is Cajun. Has he gone any quicker? No, he hasn't. So the time is up. It's just the time running out for those that haven't completed a lap as yet. And I'll try and see who else we've got back there, because Stormfly's in the pits. Timorous is 2nd. He's still going for it. I don't think he's up on this one, but he's still looking good there in 2nd place. Stu Stoughton. Oh, great lap there. He's up to 4th with a 2:07.7. This is really, really tight up the front here between these guys. And here we got Chili Bass. He's coming up towards the line. Timorous does a 2:07.2. Didn't quite get up to Stormfly, but he's really quick. Now, Timorous is one of the drivers we know can ease out his fuel in his tyres, so he'll be interesting to watch. He's definitely on the pace tonight. Wasn't that quick last week. Oh, and Chili Bass, 2:07.3. It's so tight at the front between those guys. There's literally nothing in it, and that's it. Everybody has completed their lap. So let's see what that does for qualifying. Let's see in the chat who's out there, who's going to put their money out on who's going to win this one. I wouldn't like to say Timorous, I know, can ease out those tyres and ease out that fuel, so I would be, and I know Stormfly flat out pace is quick. It's going to be close, and Chili Bass really isn't that far behind. So let's hear what you think out there in YouTube world. We're just waiting for everything to wind down and for us to leap over to qualifying, and we're all crossing our fingers that we haven't got any kind of failure in the GT Sport area. So just to remind you, first race 20 minutes, fastest first on qualifying, no limit on tyres or fuel or whatever they want to do. They will all start with half a tank. So there we go, we've got a qualifying on screen now. Stormfly, Timorous and Chili Bass. So here we go, 20 minutes, lights the flag. They will probably need to pick, because they're all starting on half a tank of fuel. So this is going to look at those times. 2:07, 4 of them in the 2:07s, and then Scally's just in the 2:08s. This is so tight up the front. Who are we going to look? Who are we going to look at? Let's start with. We'll look at Chili Bass, because I think it's going to be tight there. That first corner is quite tight. Oh no, we've lost, unfortunately. Oh, we had a prediction in from Tanika. I will come back to that in a second, but we've started and we're away. Look at this bunching up in the first corner. Look at Cajun right down the middle there. Fantastic stuff. And he can get around the first corner. Stormfly first, Timorous in second. And Cajun pulling his way through there. The third fantastic bit of driving there. Chili Bass was a big loser. He's down to 5th. Stu Stoughton is up to 4th. Let's have a look. Cajun 100 there. Great bit of driving there in the Mercedes. And they all look remarkably keen through that first section. The other one that I think's lost out a little bit is Scally, because he's dropped down to 7th. So Cajun's looking really racy tonight. He's looking at the back of Timorous as they weave their way down towards the bridge section. Oh, Stu Stoughton looked down the inside there, but I think he decided to back out of it. as they go blasting across the bridge. Everyone looking for a slipstream. Chili Bass there in 5th, looking really tight behind Stu Stoughton. He's the wrong side though for the left-hander that's coming up. Locksteck's really tight behind there now. It's really close, but really great racing. And look at that, Locksteck up the inside, but gets it all sideways on the exit. So that really didn't work for him. So here we go, winding away back down as we go round this long right-hander. Now blast down this long straight. Now everybody's going to be scrapping around looking for a slipstream. As we head over the crest down to this absolutely flat-out right-hander. Now it looks like Stu Stoughton's getting a little bit racy up there with Cajun. Cajun's looking, he's keeping that inside line. If Stu Stoughton wants it, he's got to go the long way round. Oh no! Cajun's gone wide, he's spun out. Oh no! 0 to 0 in a fraction of a second. It was all going so well. So let's hop back up the front. Stormfly out in front. Timorous looking really racy behind him. Let's go on board with Timorous. Here we go, up to the last bend. We knew it was going to be tight. Oh, that was really tight. We could almost pull the stickers off the back of that Porsche. That was so close. Fantastic stuff. Here we go. And that's one lap in the bag. So we've got 17.5 minutes still to go. But there's nothing between these two guys. And if we decide to look back, Stu Stoughton really isn't that far away. So, where should we look next? It's just so... Oh no! Timorous, he's picked up a penalty. And the rules of this series are you need to drop that penalty before the end of the lap. And he looks like he's doing that really quickly as well, which is the right thing to do. So he's got that down to half a second already. So, Locksteck's up there in 3rd. Scully's recovered to 5th. Chili Bass seems to drop back to 6th. Select in 7th. Devon Calypso 8th. Now, unfortunately, it looks like Cajun, who had that wonderful first lap, unfortunately has dropped back down to the back of the field in 9th. So Timorous has got that penalty backed off down to half a second. So let's, while these guys have settled down a little bit, we'll have a look. Technique predicted. P1 Timorous, P2 Chili Bass, P3 Stormfly. But as he says, it's anyone's for the taking. Well, at the moment, I hope you put an each way bet on that, because you're not really winning on that one, Technica, but you never know. It's a long race, we can find out. So let's just have a look where we've got with fuel. So they're down to quarter of a tank after a lap and a half. So I think we're going to see a massive pit stops at the end of this lap, because I think we're going to see everybody having to drop in to the pits at the end of this lap. And we will find this out very shortly. But the interesting thing is, if they've used a quarter of a tank in 4 minutes, they're going to use half a tank in 8 minutes. So a full tank, yes. So they should be able to get to the end of the race on a single stop. So the only limiting factor will be the tyres, because obviously the tyre wear is quite accelerated in these GT Sport races, and so they will need to consider that as whether it's worth. What happened to the manual bridge setting? Willie Bax raised an issue which I'm not aware of. Oh, actually, Timorous. Now, this is a driver I mentioned before. Oh, and Stormfly as well are going for another lap. So, I'm amazed anybody has been able to carry on this long, because we've done one lap, and let's just have a look what they've got going on board. I think this could be an error. I think we could have drivers running out of fuel, because this is the 3rd lap. They've done 2 laps already. This could be tight. This could be tight. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out, because they all seem to be going for it. I don't think anybody is... Oh, one driver went for the pits. Now, who would that be? I'm just going to have a quick look. That's Scally. So Scally's gone for the pits. So I think that could be a good move, because I think watching Scally here, he is going to be able to go absolutely flat out. Now I think if we hop back with these lead drivers and look what's happening on board with their fuel, Stormfly is down to the red and it's flashing already. Now I think he's pushing his luck a little bit. I could be horribly wrong, but he's still got a 1/3 of a lap to go. And Stu Stoughton, unseen by us, has passed Timorous for 2nd. But I think Timorous I know from old, Timorous is a driver that can eke out the fuel, eke out the tyres. So unless Timorous has made a mistake, I think he could be playing a bit smart here, because I've got a funny feeling these drivers up front are suddenly going to be running their cars on vapours. Oh, unfortunately, we've lost Wooly back from the room. Hopefully he might rejoin us shortly, because he can still enter race 2. So we are looking at the end of this lap, which is lap 3. Now they have got to start pitting, otherwise, yep, here we go. So what will be interesting, here we go, look at them all streaming into the pits. Let's move our way down. Yeah, Chili Bass is in, Select is in, Cage is just coming around that last corner. He's starting to recover, he's back up to 7th, and Devlin Calypso's in. So the interesting one to see while these guys are in the pits is Scally, because he is working his way round to complete the lap. Tanika has commented for us on YouTube to say this explains why he's not a betting man. You could be right, but it's still a long race. We've still got just under 13 minutes to go. So here we go. They're just starting to come out of the pits in front, but Scally's coming down the main straight. Where's this going to shake him out? He's showing in 5th at the moment. Oh, that's definitely worked. The undercut has definitely worked. Look at that. Scally's come through in 5th place. Fantastic bit of forward thinking there. And the other one that's worked through is Lockstec. Now, I don't quite see, and hopefully somebody watching is going to tell me, is how Lockstec has jumped to the front there, unless he's done a short fueling effort, which he hasn't appeared to have done because he's got a virtually full tank. He certainly did something special during the pit stop phase there, because he managed to jump from, I think, about... Oh, no! Oh, and it was all going so well. He just... That was exactly the barrier I was mentioning in my pre-race chat, that you just come on that right-hander onto the bridge. It's just so easy to drift off onto the grass, and as soon as you're off that grass, it's bam, straight into that wall, and exactly what Luxtec did. And he's still recovering there. He possibly has damage. Let's have a look on board. Yes, it's showing rear damage on that car at the moment. So Lockstec has definitely gone from hero to zero there. Fantastic bit of pit strategy. Came out in the lead, and then unfortunately threw it all the way straight into the barrier. So let's just run down the field quickly as we settle down after the pit stop. So Stormfly in the lead. He is leading Timorous by about 2.5 seconds. Oh, we've got some action there in the background. Let's have a quick look. Chili Bass and Scally. This is all looking a bit tight. Chili Bass in there in 4th, and Scally, who pitted the lap earlier than everyone else, is right on his tail. Let's see whether he can make a move. Let's go on board as we come up towards the end of the lap to this tight right-hander onto the main straight. Can he get anything done here? Doesn't look like it. Oh, it looks like Chili Bass gone a bit deep on the brakes there, and maybe Scally followed him as well, because if we look back, we've got Select coming towards us as well. So Lockstec has gone to the pits. I think that's for repairs following his incident there with the barrier just as they came onto the bridge. Now this is all looking fairly tight here between Chili Bass, Scally and Select. Select is looking quite racy behind us as well. So I think this is the battle we're going to sit with for the moment. Lockstec is back out of the pits having had repairs. So this is certainly going to put a dent in his championship challenge from this first race. But for race 2, if he stays where he is, he's going to be leading the grid away. So it may not be all bad, and he's going to be on the softer tyres. So here we go. Looks like Chili Bass has gapped Scally a little bit, but Select is the one creeping up onto the back bumper of Scally's VW Beetle there. At the moment, this seems to be the closest battle we've got on track, as they're working their way round this long, fast right-hander. There's no really super slow corners. There's no sort of real chicanes or hairpins on this track. It's really a real high-speed circuit. So here we go. Select's looking to the inside as they come up to this fast right-hander. Scally's giving him space. now they're on the brakes for the tighter right-hander, and no, Slick's got the move done already. That was a real mirror signal manoeuvre job. Can he hang on to it? Yeah, it looks like he's got the move done. So that's Select in 5th and Scally down to 6th. We'll move slightly back. There's Cajun in the Mercedes, had that fantastic first lap, got a brilliant start, got himself right up the front there, then just unfortunately lost it on a right-hander there. The back came round and he was off and into the barriers. So unfortunately he's working his way back, so he's a little bit in no man's land there at the moment. He's about 5.5 seconds behind Scally and about 8.5 seconds in front of Devin Calypso in another Mercedes. Devlin Calypso, I keep saying Devlin Calypso, who is currently 7 seconds in front of Lockstech, who's a last runner on track, but we know he's one of the quicker drivers there in his BMW. But he is obviously working his way back from that damage he suffered after contacting the Armco after that great pit stop which brought him out in the lead, but unfortunately his strategy then fell completely apart. So let's move up the front and see what's happening with the lead 2 guys, because they are streaking away a little bit. They're doing a Max and Lewis from the rest of the field at the moment, because Stormfly's got about 1.2 seconds on Timorous, who doesn't seem to be able to make too much of a dent into that. And I think fuel-wise, I think these guys are going to be perfectly fine now. Yeah, we've got 7 minutes remaining, so they've got 2/3 of the tank, so I don't think fuel is going to become an issue. Now, the little battle that could be building up is, I think Chili Bass is working his way up on the back of Stu Stoughton. So, and in the background, you can see Scally and Select. So these guys are all running quite close with each other. So we'll stick with this one, but I think definitely over the last few laps, Chili Bass has been working his way up on the back of Stu Stoughton, and now it's getting visually smaller. So I think this is where we're going to get the action with just under 7 minutes of this race remaining. So, well, I'm just going back to Technica's prediction on the YouTube chat, and well, you got 2 out of 3, and Chili Bass, if he gets Stu Stoughton, you've got 3 out of 3. You didn't get the order right. So I'm certainly not a bad prediction there. Oh, in the background there, that looked like Scally going for the pits again. So maybe one of the reasons that he was able to do that. Let's just see what he's got in the way of fuel if we can. No. Oh, he's dropped off my list, so I can't do that for the moment. He may have short fueled it, which is what gave him that leap up the field. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to hop on board with Chili Bass. Just keep an eye on where we think he can sort of make a move on Stu Stoughton, because these two seem very, very evenly balanced. But the other thing you can see that around this track there is so little room for error, with these barriers lining the track virtually the whole way round. So it's not like one of these modern F1 circuits where you can always run so far off you can land in the car park before you hit anything. There's absolutely no room for error here with these guys on this track tonight. And Chili Bass is working his way out. He's not quite in Formula 1 terms DRS yet. He's just over a second away. And it in fact looks like he's dropped away a little bit. It looks like Stu Stoughton has got himself a little bit more pace. So just as we're just ticking under 5 minutes to go, so I would say we've got probably 3 laps left in this first race. So the other one that's been moving his way back up is Cajun. He's back up to 6th, having had that incident on the first lap. The other guys that are looking quite close together are Lockstech, who is now recovering following his incident after the pit stop, which involved in that collision with the barrier. And behind him is Scally. Behind Lockstech is Devlin Calypso, and then behind him is Scally. And these guys are running in fairly close order. I think Scally's probably going to be working on Devlin shortly. That two-stop strategy of Scally's really hasn't worked for him. He did give him a good leap up the field at the first. Oh no, not again, Scally. Bit of a collision there with a wall. Let's hop on board with him and see if we can see what kind of a effect that's had. No, nothing flashing on his dashboard there. But those racing super softs of Scally's, you can see it. Oh, look at that understeer, like the Titanic into that first corner. That was horrible. He had masses of lock on that steering, and he just wanted to go straight. So as you can see by the bottom left-hand corner with the RSS, those red and white bars are showing how worn his tyres are, and that front left is really, really crying now. So whether he's burnt those out a little bit too quick, because he's only recently been in for a stop, but he's definitely working those tyres really, really hard. So, oh, look at this. Unseen by us, Timorous has got the lead. Technica, you're back in. You're back in because Timorous is in the lead. You just need Chili Bass to get by Stormfly and you're on a winner. But sadly, unseen by us, because I imagine Stormfly must have made a mistake there, because Timorous was about a second or two behind and didn't look in a position to make anything too racy in respect of a manoeuvre, and then suddenly we look back and he's in the front. So it ain't over till it's over. So I think coming up the finish line, we got one, possibly two more laps. It was about a 2:07 lap here, and they're just about to cross the finishing line with about 2:07 left. So if Timorous works this right, he should be able to cross the line just as it zeroes. And actually, it looks like Timorous is pulling quite a gap on Stormfly. Let's go on board with Stormfly, see if we can see if there's a particular issue. Now, he's starting to get a little bit low on fuel there. Let's compare him to Timorous. Well, Timorous is even lower on fuel. So I'd imagine Timorous is not really going to be wanting to do an extra lap. So it's definitely not an issue with fuel or with tyres, because you look at Stormfly, his tyres aren't particularly worn, and nor are Timorous. Bear in mind, when we were looking back at Scally's, he was definitely taking some life out of those tyres, and I think that was definitely costing him in lap time. So I'm just going to hop back, because these two at the front seem to have settled out, but Chili Bass is still chomping away at the back bumper of Stu Stoughton's Porsche there. And I think he's only got a few laps, or sorry, not even those laps, they're corners. He's got just a few corners to make his move. But Stu Stoughton seems really consistent. He's not making any mistakes, whereas Chili Bass there just brushing the barrier, a few sparks showing. So Stu Stoughton's just got to keep it right for the next few corners, and I think he's got the job done. So it's really just this little gnarly section here before they get up to complete the lap. It's just this one hard last braking point now, and he seems to have got that one done pretty cleanly. So we'll just hop on board with our race leader here. So Timorous. So yeah, Technica saying on the YouTube chat his bet's looking a bit better, and I think you're absolutely right. I think you're going to get one. I hope you put an each way bet, because here we go. So Technica's coming up to the line, and he's completed the race, and Stormfly is in second. Stu Stoughton held off Chili Bass. Fantastic battle between those two guys for third and fourth. Slick coming through in fifth. Nice flash of the lights there. Cajun 100 recovered from that first lap incident. Brilliant start. Unfortunately, the first lap just didn't go for him as it came to a conclusion. Locksteck, after that incident, after his cracking pit stop and coming out in the lead, has recovered back up to 7th. Scally had to take that second pit stop, got by Devlin. So Scally's come through in 8th, and in 9th place is Devlin Calypso. So as Timorous celebrates his win with his laurel wreath, I'm sure he'll be well chuffed for that. We knew he's a guy that could do with great things with easing out his tyres and fuel, but I don't think that was actually a massive element to that. I think, unseen by us, I think Stormfly must have had some form of incident and just made a little mistake there, and Timorous was through. So there we go, Timorous won the race there, Stormfly second, Stu Stout third, Chili Bass fourth, Select in 5th, Cajun 100 in 6th, Lockstack in 7th, Scally 8th, and Devlin Calypso rounding out in 9th. Now the second part of the race, it will be a reverse grid, so Devlin Calypso will be on pole, and the top 6, basically everyone from Cajun 100 upwards, will be starting on a medium tyre. They can then change as they wish to a softer tyre, but that will just handicap them and give those slower drivers a chance at the front to maybe get away and then let the race develop as the laps go on. So yeah, Stormfly commenting that he was saving the fuel for one more lap. That was probably a good move, I think, because that possibly could have been the case, but unfortunately Timorous crossed the line just after everything had zeroed. So hopefully our drivers that had a bit of a problem in race 1 technically, because they dropped out because they were kicked or had a connection issue, will be rejoining us for race 2 to get our numbers back up a little bit. Just to mention our sponsor, Decal Labs. They are a livery company, so they can do all your vinyl cut labels, liveries. They're involved with race teams with the British Touring Car Championship, and they are headline sponsors, so we're really appreciative of their efforts and support. And so if you need anything, you want to make your Mini Cooper look like a racing car, they are the guys to contact. So just do a search on them, and you can have the same guys working on your car to work on the British touring cars. So we are always looking for people to support our sponsors. So that's it, Decal Labs are the guys that you need to go and be talking to. So just to remind you, we've got a second race coming up, which will be a 30-minute race, so 50% longer than the race we've just had. Reverse grid, everything else is the same. We're going to see at least one pit stop, possibly 2. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys shake out and what they decide to do, and whether those guys that are forced to start on the medium tyre and therefore have to and the guys on the medium tyre will be the 6 at the back of the grid, and if those guys decide to go like one lap on the mediums and then jump onto super softs, or do they go longer, try and make it a one stopper and refuel at a later point rather than go for the 2 stops. So it'll be interesting to see how that one shakes out, because we're not, we've got no overall experience of this track with these race settings. So the race is going to be off in just over 3 minutes, so we'll just hop on board with people and see who is out there on the circuit at the moment. So Chili Bass is working his way round. He's on the medium, so he's obviously out there to try and get a feel of what's actually track conditions are like on these harder tyres. Now, these will last, they will keep their grip for a longer period, but their ultimate grip is that bit less. So it's a real balance of that. They won't have the performance, so if they go in after one lap, I think, with rough calculations in my head, they will need to have a second stop, where if they hang it out for probably 10 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes, they can go for a one stop. But it'll be interesting how much time they lose. So I don't know how much time these guys have put into researching how long it will work on this circuit with these conditions. So that will be quite interesting to see how that works out. So Stormfly's out on track as well because he's on the medium tyre, so he's getting a feel for the grip that's out there as well. So Timorous the same, he's out there on the medium tyre in his Beetle. Scally, he's got the chance of the super soft because he's that bit further down. And Select, he's out there on the mediums as well. So these guys are just out there trying to get a feel. They've just got a couple of minutes to get a bit of a feel. Now, the one that is interesting that's moved to mediums is Devlin Calypso, and I don't think he needs to. So hopefully Devlin, if you're... Oh, Devlin, I see you're on the soft. Fantastic. You've picked up on that one. So, let's see how these guys are working. Now, interested to look at the Chili Bass. Look at that great Decals Lab livery down the side of his car there, helping out our sponsor wherever he can, and that's what we like to do. So, looks like more or less everybody is out. Who's confident enough to stay in the pit? Oh, Cajun 100. He's obviously confident enough to stay in the pits. So, he knows where his grip levels are. God, my English teacher would be mortified with my language at the age of 53. So we've got just over a minute to go before this race starts, so don't go anywhere. So just mind you, it's a 30-minute race, reverse grid. So the real fast guys from the first race will be starting from the back. And we had some really good clean racing in that first race. So hopefully we're going to see more of the same. And those guys at the back will just take their time working their way through. And they will show us some really good racecraft is what we want to see. So that looks like Lockstep just letting Chili Bass by. So I'm just bringing up what we've got going on in the YouTube chat, and if you're listening to us out there, drop in, say hello, tell us who you're working with, who you're supporting tonight. So would be great to hear from you. So Technica's going double or nothing, so get your pens out. He's going prediction for race 2, Stormfly, Timorous and Stu Stelton. I think you're rather cheap, because I think you're sort of basing that on what happened in the first race. But Technica, you're allowed to do that. You can base it on form, that's fine. You're just hoping the Stormfly doesn't back off to save that fuel, which is why we possibly think that Timorous was able to get by him, or a small mistake. So we've got just under a minute to go. So, oh Dan, great to hear from you, Dan. Yeah, you're going to support Pineapple? Yeah, no, he's not here. So you're going to go on then, Dan. Tell us who else you're supporting. So there's some great racing we've got going on there tonight. So we're interested to know whose colours you're going to pin, whose car you're going to pin your colours on. So let us know, Dan. See what you think that is going to pull it off to on this second race. So we are just about to go green for the second race. And we've gone green. The final is starting in just a few seconds. So here we go. Let's hear your predictions in the live chat on YouTube as to who you think is going to be the winner of this second race. So reverse grid, 9 drivers on the grid, fast guys at the back. Here we go, we're on board with Devlin right at the front there in his Mercedes, waiting for those lights to go from red to green, and we're off. Looks like Lockstep got a bit of a jumpy start there, but Devlin Calypso, look at that, he's jumping away at the start there. So Dan's in, he's saying Stormfly to win. So Stormfly currently down there in 8th. So here we go. So Devlin's holding on to that lead. Now sometimes we've seen the drivers that have got pole in the reverse grids sometimes have a bit of a moment very early on as the pressure of being out in the front tends to affect them. But Devlin seems to be definitely holding his own though, but down this long sweeping right-hander, it looks like Locksteck has got past him. So Locksteck currently our de facto leader in the championship. He's got his way around. He's being careful around that right-hander where he had the problem earlier. But Devlin's not giving this up. He's in the slipstream. Can he do anything here? As we go down to the tight right-hander, is he going to nip out? I don't think he's close enough. No, he's not. Let's just have a quick look back, see. Oh, Devlin, that was so close to the barrier there. So a little bit further. Cajun's getting a little bit wild again. We had this problem in race 1, but he's up to 4th. And Dan on YouTube chat is saying he's looking at Cajun 100 for a podium in this race. So he's up there at the moment in 4th, so he's not far off it. Stormfly, one of our guys most popular for a win, he's currently there, sat down there in 5th. So, let's have a look. We've got a bit more development in the background there. Hang on. Oh, look at this. 3 abreast from Stewstown, Scally and Chili Batters. It's all looking tight. But the great thing about this, look at how clean this racing is. It's absolutely brilliant. No bump in the bargain. That's what we want to see. That's what flat out e-racing's all about. So, here we go. Coming down to complete the first lap. Locksteck's got that lead. He's gapping Devlin, but Devlin isn't letting go quite that easily at the moment. But Select has got him as they come into that last corner. That looked like someone was going for the pits there. No, there's Timorous was pulling out. Timorous and Stormfly glued together. Cajun still hanging on to that 4th place. Let's just hope he can hang on to the back end of that Mercedes, which came round and bit him in that first race. So, I don't know where to look. Timorous, here we go, right on the back door of Stormfly. Now, these two might work as a pack as they work through. We've already had nearly 3 minutes of this race. It's going to be absolutely lights the flag, action-packed stuff. Look at that. Let's look back. Stu Stoughton's right behind us. Is he going to go in front? They're going down the side by side. No, Timorous hangs on to the position. And the front Stormflies. Oh, Stu Stoughton goes for a lunge there at Bridge Corner, but can't quite pull it off. And it's cost him time because he's now fallen back into the hands of Timorous. So Timorous has got a run on him, and we're coming up to the left-handed. And I think, Chili Bass has got a run on him, and he's got the inside on Stu Stoughton as they come off the bridge section. But Stu Stoughton's not giving it up. He's down the inside as they go around this long right-hander onto what I'd effectively call the back straight. But look at the back, Scally's looking to get in the slipstream, get dragged along by these two as well. There's so much going on, I don't know where to look. Up front, Locksteck, Sleck, Devlin, Calypso, 1, 2, 3 are all still the same. But Chili Bass there in 8th is absolutely on the back bumper of Stu Stoughton. He's going for the inside at the right-hander. But look up in front, Stormfly and Timorous. Timorous has got in front of Stormfly. We've got a front row seat for that battle, effectively with the fastest 2 guys on track at the moment. So, looks like Stu Stoughton has now dropped behind Chili Bass. So, let's move to trackside cameras and we'll move up towards Timorous and see where those guys are moving forward. First 3 are all still the same. Oh, hello. Who shot for the pits there? Someone's gone early. Didn't see who it was. I will just check in a second. Let's have a look. Oh, it's Stu Stoughton. He's gone for the early pit stop. So, that may come into play later. We've only had 5 minutes of this race so far. Look at these guys. They're all still so close. So, look at, Timorous and Stormfly. You'd think this was the battle for the lead. Timorous has got the inside on the left-hander, and he hangs on to 5th position. But these 2 guys fighting are slowing themselves up, and they can't catch the leaders. Devlin there has dropped behind Cajun 100, unseen by us. Cajun has got by. He's got that Mercedes under him in this race too. So, Dan's prediction for a podium for Cajun does seem to be working out, and he's up into 3rd position, Cajun 100. So, let's have a look. It's difficult to know where to look. There's so much going on. Chili Bass is now right on the back of Stormfly. Oh, Stormfly sticking his nose out. He's looking like he's going down the inside of Timorous, and he's got that move to stick. That was all a little bit tight. Let's see how the replay's working, shall we? We can know we have problems with the replay on. Oh, he did. He got down the inside there. And Timorous then fell back into the hands of Chili Bass. Oh, fantastic. Our replay system is working brilliantly tonight. There's a novelty. So, Stormfly, while we're watching that replay, Stormfly's got by Devlin Calypso. So, he's now got him as a buffer between himself, Stormfly, and Timorous, who is in 6th. So, the one who's making a getaway in all of this, though, is Lockstech. He's into the pits, though, because all these guys, I think, we're going to see a mass hurl to the pits. Yeah, here we go. Stormfly's in, Devlin Calypso's in, Chili Bass is in, Scally's in. They're all in. Now, the one who isn't is Stu Stoughton. So, has this gone for him in a way that he is going to come round and have the undercut? Because he is on Racing Super Softs. I think he will have to stop again, because I don't think he's got enough to get him to the end, unless he's got his performance factor wound right down, which will ease his fuel out and mean he can get towards the end. But here he goes. He's coming down the start-finish straight. Who's going to come out in front? Stu Stoughton. He's showing 2nd. He's showing 3rd. Here they go. They're all pouring out of the pits. Stu Stoughton comes through in 4th. So that has worked out for him quite well. So, and he's coming out, Cajun Hundreds hanging on to that 3rd position, but after the pit stop, Stu Stoughton's looking like he's going down the inside, and he's got the position. But Cajun's not giving up, because we're up to the left-hander now, and they're side by side, and Stu Stoughton runs a bit wide, and in there as well is Stormfly. They're all side by side. They whiz down round the downhill section towards Bridge Corner. Oh no, Cajun, he's dropped from 3rd to 4th, from 4th to 5th. Oh well, he's back up to 4th again. Can they keep it on the track around that corner? Yes, they have. No one's made a big mistake. Look how close the pack is. But the big winner here is Lockstech. He's way out in front. So, here we go. Up to the tight left off the bridge. So, it's Stu Stoughton, followed by Cajun, followed by Stormfly. This is the battle for 3rd. And then, just remember from the first race, Stormfly was 2nd place, and Timorous, who's now down in 7th, was actually in the winner of the first race. So this reverse grid setup is working really, really well for us. So, Stormfly looking at the inside on the fast right-hander on Cajun 100. He got massive slick swing down that back straight, and he's got the move done. Can he hold it on the brakes? I know, looks like Cajun's maybe gone a little bit deep there. No, he hasn't. He's all right. He's still got fighting in the comeback. So Cajun's still hanging on there in 5th. So let's see who's going. Oh, Cajun could be the dark horse, says Technica on the YouTube chat. So he thinks Dan's onto something. So at the moment, unfortunately, Cajun's a couple of spots off that podium, but it's a long race. We've still got just over 20 minutes to go. So I would say that it's not quite over yet, but Stormfly on Stu Stoughton seems to be the next move as we go to the first corner, which is a right-hander. Stormfly down the inside. He's got the tighter line. Stu Stoughton kicking up a little bit of grass there. That won't have helped his traction out of the corner. And he's got the move done. So Stormfly's up onto the 3rd step of the podium. Timorous, who he was battling with in the first race. Cajun a bit wide there, but he's kept it together. Stormfly was battling with Timorous in the first race, and Timorous is currently sat down there in 6th. So I don't think he is too far off the guys in front. He's battling with Chili Bass. So, and Cajun 100's a couple of seconds up the road. So Timorous doesn't seem to have the pace in race 2 that he had in race 1. Now, I will just hop on board and look at his dash. So I know from the past with Timorous, he could be easing out his tyre and fuel usage, so prevents him having a second stop. So, but with 19 minutes remaining, No, it's not. It's not impossible. He may be playing the long game here, Timorous, and then we'll just head back. Unfortunately, during the pit stop phase, both Devlin Calypso, who is currently in 8th. Now I don't know if he's had an incident, and Scally in 9th. They seem to have dropped back off the main pack there. So long way to go. Still 19 minutes to go. So it might just come back on the strategy with those two guys. But let's move back to this battle, and Stormfly through to 2nd. Stu Stoughton have been hanging on to that one, and coming in the background is Select. So this battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th looks like it's going to run fairly tight for a few laps. Be interested to see whether these guys need to have a second pit stop or not. I will have a quick look at the dashes again, and I think they're going to have a, because that's the pit for Stu Stoughton, and he's down to nearly half a tank. So I think he's definitely going to need to pit again. So I think we've got another factor to come to play in this race. So I don't think it's anywhere near. Oh, Select running really wide there onto the grass. So Stu Stoughton may have got passed by Stormfly, but he's certainly not giving that spot up, is he? He's absolutely hanging on to the back bumper of Stormfly there. And Stormfly's obviously keen to catch up with Locksteg, who is now not quite as far away as we saw him earlier on. He was certainly banking some time earlier, while the likes of Stormfly and Technica and so on were tied up in the traffic. But he's now being wound in by Stormfly. We can see the gap physically coming down, because we can see Locksteg in the distance there as we go across the bridge. Hard on the brakes, round the left-hander. Kicking up a little bit there. Oh, just you want to push the limits of the track, but not actually hit that barrier, because it will just slow you down so much. Oh, and just as that Stormfly just clips the barrier, a brush like that won't hurt you too much, but that sparks obviously show there's been contact to slow you down. So as we head off the public road section, still absolutely flat out up towards his hard braking. I think you can see this developing into a three-way battle for the lead, because I think we're going to see Stu Stoughton and Stormfly catch up with Locksteg. But we've got action a little bit further back, because we've got Cajun 100 back up to 4th. He's got past Select, so I imagine Select may have had an incident, and Timorous has pulled away from Chili Bass, and he is now on the back of these two guys. So Select's got that 4th place back from Cajun 100 to come at the last corner, and Timorous is there trying to take advantage of the situation of these two fighting each other. You go round. Oh, look at that! Timorous just rubbed himself down that concrete barrier. Hopefully it didn't do too much damage. As we come around to complete another lap, we've got just over 16 minutes left. Cajun 100 looking to the inside, Select to that first corner. And he's got the move done. Fantastic stuff. Great textbook manoeuvre there. Slipstreamed it up. But Select's not giving up. He's coming back as we head towards the downhill section towards the bridge. Look, Cajun's hanging on. Timorous looking down the inside of Select. Can't get the move done. Nice clean racing. That's what we like to see. So as we go, here we go. Down a bit of a roller coaster hill towards the bridge. Cajun's got that 4th. I think, unless there's an incident up front, I think he's going to struggle to get on that podium. But he's got a cracking race he's got going on here. So, here we go, up and over the bridge. He's gapped to Select a little bit, and Chili Bass certainly isn't out of this. They're in 7th. He's just there in the background in that black Mercedes. We'll hop back, because I think Timorous is looking to make a move as we come up to the left-hander. Is he going to go late on the brakes? Yes, he is. Gone a bit deep. Can Select come back on the exit? They're heading side by side down towards the back straight. I doubt Select can make it all the way around. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Oh no, who's that? Locksteg's blown it. He's blown it. He was in the lead, and he's down already to 7th. The pressure, we knew Stormfly was coming, but the pressure obviously got to him. Let's just see. I think I may have left it too late, but we'll see if we can get back to Locksteg in 3rd there. Oh no, we've already dropped down, I'm afraid. So unfortunately we missed what happened there. But by the look of it, he made a mistake coming out that long downhill right-hander. and yeah, it looks like he's moving quite slowly there. That he made a mistake coming out of that long downhill right-hander and had a collision with the wall there, and unfortunately, talking of collisions with walls, Stu Staunton just brushing the wall there. Stu Staunton has got by Stormfly. It's all happening, I can't keep up with it. Look in the background, look at that three-way battle back, further back. The Chili Bass in 6th, Timorous in 5th, and Select in 4th. Now these guys battling is letting Cajun 100 get in the way. And Cajun 100 is back in the podium position. Dan, you're right. Technica, you're right. It's fantastic stuff. Look at this. We don't know where to look. Oh, Locksteck's in the pits. I imagine that's for repair. So, Select in 4th, Timorous in 5th, and Chili Bass in 6th. Oh no, look in front. Cajun 100's got a penalty. I would imagine that's for exceeding track limits, and he's going to have to shake that before the end of the lap. Otherwise he'll have to send himself to the stewards, and he's one of the stewards, so that could be painful. So Locksteck's working his way there in 8th in the pits, and has just now been overtaken by Scally, and unfortunately with having to drop that penalty, Cajun has dropped off the podium, and he's now back in this battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. So I think this one is going to go for the line, and I think one factor in this is going to be pit stops. So let's just hop on board and see if we can see where they are pit stop field wise. Now with 12 minutes to go, Timorous, who's one of the easiest on the fields, have got about a third of a tank left, so I don't think that's enough. So I think all these guys are going to have to pit again. So I think we have got another chapter coming up in this race as we look in the background at Chili Bass in 6th, trying to get by Cajun in 5th, and can't quite get the move done. But Timorous is trying to go round the outside of Select, and he's got it done. Fantastic manoeuvre. Didn't see that one coming. Cajun looks like he's trying to follow him through. Chili Bass in the background's got a penalty which he'll need to drop. So Timorous has shuffled his way through there for 3rd, but I don't think Select has given it up quite yet. But these guys are all going to have to leap into the pits at some point in the next 12 minutes and 5 seconds, because I don't think any of them are going to make it to the end on the field that they've got in. Oh, Select run deep there. Oh, he's made a big mistake there. And, in the background, that's Chili Bass losing the penalty. But Select made that mistake, and Cajun's got by, and he's up to 3rd because Stu Staunton, our leader, is in the pits. So he's gone for his 2nd stop very early. Looks like he was using more fuel, so that's going to mean he is going to be a little bit longer in the pits. So I would imagine if we look at Stormfly on the fuel side, yeah, he's still got an 8th of the tank, but he's certainly not going to make it to the end, but he's going to have to put 1 lap less worth of fuel in, so that's going to mean he's going to have a quicker stop. So where do we look next? I daren't think. So Stormfly's going to come into the pits at the end of this race, end of this lap, sorry. And I think Timorous probably will do as well. Let's have a look, see where Cajun is positioned in this, because I think he's going to be pitting as well. 4th Select, he's definitely going to have to pit. And Chili Bass now. Chili Bass, he's still got nearly quarter of a tank. So there's somebody, and we see this very much from the Greek drivers. He's very much somebody who is very easy on his field there. So he can run 1, possibly 2 more laps before he needs to pit. So I don't think he can get to the end, but when he does have to pit, he will have a much shorter stop because it's timed on the amount of fuel that they're actually going to put in. So let's have a quick review of where we are at. Stormfly's leading, but he is taking the lead over from Stu Staunton because of Stu Staunton pitting. But we believe Timorous, Stormfly, Cajun and Select will all be pitting the end of this lap. The one who won't be is Chili Bass. So I think as we come around this last corner, 1, 2, 3. Oh, Chili Bass has gone for the pits. Now I'm very surprised by that because I thought he had enough fuel to get to the at least another lap or 2. So he's obviously decided to go for a different route. Now Select's going to be jumping off those medium tyres, which I'm surprised he went for those for the 2nd stint. but it may be a tactical manoeuvre, because the one who is coming by is Stu Stoughton. So let's see, has that worked for him? Oh, and we see it has worked for him, because that's Stormfly coming out of the pits in the background, and he's got 3.5-4 seconds on him already. So that undercut has been massively strong for Stu Stoughton. He's 4.5 seconds up the road, so I think he's got this one in the bag. So Technica, I think your bet has just been blown out of the car park, and well, it's so far away I don't think we even get the bit of paper back. So it could be wrong, but I think unless he makes a mistake, I think Stu Stoughton's got this one in the bag. So Stormfly looks at the moment fairly safe there in second. The one who I was quite surprised, and I may have had a technical issue here at... Oh, no, we're all right. I thought we'd lost the keyboard. The one that... Oh, no, Cajun! No, not again! Let's see what happened. Oh, no, Cajun, it was all going so... He had a 0.4 second penalty already. Again, I imagine for track limits, but as we come down to the bridge section, again it's cold tyres that's caught him out. Oh, or was there a little bit of contact there? But it wasn't a massive moment, but Select slid by all the time. So Cajun unfortunately slid down to 6th, but we've seen him pull back some positions before, and he's got that penalty down to 0.1 of a second, but we've seen him pull back positions before, but unfortunately I don't think he'll jump to the podium from there, but never say never. So Timorous, he's there in 3rd at the moment, and we know most of these guys have got fuel to the end. But I'll say the one that, and also he's had a bit of a moment there, Chili Bass, I was quite surprised Chili Bass went for the pits at the same time, because I thought he would have gone later, and he should have been slightly quicker through the pit stops there. But he's now got close attention from Select and Cajun as we're creeping down to just 7 minutes remaining. I think the battle up front is fairly sorted out, so we're going to stick on board with these guys. Oh, Select giving that wall a brush yet again. So we'll just hop on board, because we're looking forward to Chili Bass in 4th, because we're sat on board there with Select, and we look back, we've got Cajun coming up behind, so I can see this all getting quite nip and tuck very much within the next couple of laps. So I think the 1st, 2nd and 3rd, subject to a bit of an incident, I think has pretty much settled out, and I don't think anything is going to change dramatically there, but we'll keep our beady eye on the positions in the corner. Now these two in 4th, Chili Bass, and 5th, Select, look like they're gapping Cajun just a little bit at the moment. But we've still got something like 3 laps left to go, so it's not over yet. So let's just work down to our guys slightly further down the field. We've got Loxtech, who is recovering from that incident. Unfortunately, 2 races on the trot where unfortunately Loxtech's had quite a good position and it has slipped away from him. So I'm sure he'll be reviewing that and just going maybe a little bit more cautious, because he had a really good finishing position looking at him in that second race, or in this second race. Oh no! And just we say, he's just understeered straight into the Armco there and given 7th position to Devlin Calypso there. That was a total understeer moment there at the end of the bridge, and I think, unfortunately, yeah, he's had quite significant damage there, so he'll be working back to the pit. So this, I think, is going to blow this championship wide open, because Loxtech was leading, and it's just all gone away from him now because he's had 2 poor finishes in these 2 races. So I think we're going to see a different leader by the time we've come away from Sainte Croix. So, and then just down there in 9th, in the white VW Beetle, is Scally. So he had a different strategy in the first race, and it looked like he was working for him, but that second pit stop dropped him down the field a little bit. So just unfortunate, it didn't really work for him. He does seem to have handling issues, as he just has a bit of a spin there. Does seem to have handling issues with that car, that it does seem to be suffering from really, really bad understeer. He seems to have an amazing amount of lock on the steering, like he's almost parking the car, but it just doesn't want to respond. So hopefully he can look at it and see what he can work out. Oh, looking at YouTube chat, as Tanika says, it shows how quickly a race can change, and I think you're absolutely right there, that it has really changed, you know, from particularly Lockstec, who we thought was going to be quite a factor in this race. That, oh, and he's Lockstec's back in the pits, and it looks like Scally's going to take him. Yes, it does. So just under 4 minutes remaining, so I think that means we're going to have this lap and the next one. So with Stu Stoughton now, the gap to him to Stormfly has closed a little bit. You can just see at the top of your screen Stormfly coming over the crest there, but I don't think it's enough for Stu Stoughton to worry too much about where he is. Maybe he's just being a little bit cautious as to you know, tyre usage and so on as the race progresses. And looking at Technica's prediction for race 2, well, you weren't far out. You got the right 3, just in the wrong order. So Stu Stoughton has overperformed compared to your prediction, but we'll have, as we come over the finish line, just under 3 minutes to go. So that will be 2 laps. So I'm just going to hop back. So it looks like we've got a battle right at the back. Oh, Lockstec looking a bit sideways again. Oh, and it looks like, who's that down there? Oh, Devlin Calypso's had a bit of a spin there. Tyre wear coming to haunt him a little bit as we get towards the closing stages of the race. We'll just hop back. I can see Scally coming under pressure from Lockstec. Lockstec trying to recover his race as best he can. It looks like the first 6 are fairly neatly spread out at the moment. I don't see there being anything major changing, but we will just hop back out the front there in a second. But I just like to stay with this battle because I think Lockstec has a bit more speed than Scally. Scally does seem to have that handling problem. If you notice, when he goes into the corner, there seems to be an incredible amount of steering input, and it's not reflected in the amount that the car is turning. So here we go, down the main straight. DRS if you were in Formula 1. Lockstec pulls out, mirror signal manoeuvre, down the inside for the first corner. He's got the move done before he's got there. He got his BMW in front of the VW. So, and I think from there Lockstec will pull away. So let's just head up towards the front, see what's happening. Stu Stoughton, yeah, hold that gap to Stormfly at about 3 seconds. Doesn't seem from Stormfly's point of view that he can do anything to sort of put inroads into that gap. But they're safely ahead of safely ahead of Timorous, who is in 3rd, who's just 3.2 seconds ahead of Chili Bass, who is in 4th there, who's worked his way past the guys in 5th and 6th, because that was all a bit of a tight battle there earlier on. Slack there, good solid finish for him. He's there in 5th, a little bit in no man's land again. And Cajun, it's a good solid race from him. I know he's had some races where he sort of tumbled down towards the back, but this one, he's definitely showed his skill here, because he was in the fight there for a podium position, and now he's there in a very solid 6th. Please don't hit the wall, Kevin, just as I'm complimenting you. He's in a very solid 6th there, and had it not been for that spin on the lap 1 of the first race, I think he would have had a similar, if not better, finish in the first race. So here we go, we're on to the final lap. The clock is ticking down. The drivers in 8th, 9th will cross the line. Oh, and 7th, 8th and 9th in fact. And the time is out, so as these guys cross the finishing line, their race will be over. So that's Devlin in 7th, has just crossed the line. And then, Devlin, just a point of note, he did do very well hanging up the front there at the reverse grid, so it certainly showed he had pace. Just needs to keep it a bit more consistent as the race goes on. So Lockstec coming up to the finish there, recovers from those couple of incidents he had during the race. And then finally 9th is Scally, so their races are now completed. So while this is looking a little bit steady as we head towards the last section race, just remind you about our sponsor, Decal Labs. Any vinyl cut liveries or decals or stickers or anything like that, give them a Google search, tell them Flat Out E-Racing pointed them in their direction. They're involved with British touring cars, so you're going to get top quality, real high spec decals. So they're the guys to get in contact if you want to, get something small or large done onto your car, whether you want the full touring car look or just something subtle in the corner of the boot. Those are the guys to go and talk to. So here we go, coming up to the finish. Stu's down. He's managed to get to Stormfly quite well. Just 2 seconds now as they approach the finishing line. Stu's down. That undercut on the pit stop worked absolutely fantastically for him. So brilliant win there for him. Second place Stormfly. Good solid points for his championship battle. Timorous, our winner from the first race. He's come in third. Done a great race there. So fourth, Chili Bass. Great race, worked his way by, selecting 5th, and Cajun 100 is our final runner on the lead lap in there in 6th. So here we go, just to see our winner there, Stu Thousand. I think that's his first race with Flat Out first win with Flat Out E-Racing. So I'm sure he'll be well chuffed as that. So we'll just hop on. I don't want to replay it. I want to show you the race results. So there we go. Stu Stoughton first place, Stormfly second, Timorous third, then followed by Chili Bass, Select, Cajun, Devlin, Locksteck and Scally. So great bit of racing we've had there tonight. So pleased everyone's been along to chat with us, and that and Timorous is saying, and I'm learning Greek so I can actually say what Timorous is typing there is F Haristol, which is thank you. I'm not sure about the last 3. I haven't got that far in my Greek lessons, but F Haristol and F Haristol to you, Timorous, which is Greek for thank you. So great to see everybody along, getting involved with the chat on YouTube. We've got another series on Wednesday night with our Group 4 cars. That's with a different commentator. That's with Jay. Fantastic guy, does a great job. And we've got a different mix of cars on that one, different mix of drivers. So please like, subscribe the YouTube channel, and then you'll get notifications as to when either me or Jay are online, and you can come along and watch the racing. And if you want to get involved, jump on to Facebook, search for Flat Out E-Racing, join the Facebook group, and you can find out all about the 2 series we've got. This is the DTM on a Sunday night, and we've got the Group 4 on a Wednesday night. So great to have you on board tonight, everyone. Hope you stay safe, and see you again soon.